One of the things that I was not ready for when I started motivational speaking was I was not ready for how cynical people are, just kind of generally. I mean, I think my impression, this is only my one experience, I want to be very clear here, but the impression that I got from other people, or put it like this, if someone was to ask me about advice, if they were going to go out and start doing motivational speaking, start sharing their life story, and they were asking me my advice on the process, one of the things that I would say to them is, and I'd be very clear about this, I would say to this person, I'd say, look, I understand you're passionate about helping other people with the lessons that you've learned from your own life, but what you have to understand is that people are very cynical. You, as somebody who wants to share your message, you have gone through something hard and you have learned that you are stronger perhaps than you thought you were, which makes future hard things not intimidating to you. This is certainly how I feel about my life experience. But what I've realized is fewer people than you may think have actually gone through something difficult. And so I think what starts to happen there is people become cynical, maybe because deep down they just don't have the confidence that they can overcome adversity, right? And so nothing that we really value in life comes without struggle, comes without probably significant struggle. The more significant the desire, probably the more significant the struggle. And that's not even a guarantee. It's just something that seems to come with the process. You know, things of great value don't just fall in our laps. And if they did, we probably wouldn't value them, right? That's kind of my perspective, my opinion. This is not like a universal law I'm claiming. But yeah, man, like I just was not ready for how cynical people are. And I guess part of what I assumed is I have been through all these objectively difficult things and been able to come out of them having grown as a person. Surely people will embrace my ideas. Well, that was just a massive assumption that proved to be wrong. You know, I can tell you, I could have told people about sexual abuse at home, physical abuse at home, being bullied every day, going to school, yada, 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 whatever, doesn't matter. Like, there are just some people who would rather be pissed off at the world and they just don't want to be encouraged by anyone and don't want to hear anybody's encouraging message. So you have to be prepared to take those shots. And that was a pretty profound, how would I describe it? I guess let down isn't quite the word. I just wasn't expecting it. I got blindsided by it. Like, to have friends that I was close to kind of look at me like, how dare you try to go out and encourage people? Well, like, why not? This is the other part that I understand. Like, what's wrong with encouraging people? That's, this was something that used to bother me about the negativity that I would get from people. It's like, you're mad at me for trying to encourage people to be stronger and believe in themselves. Like, I mean, you're cynical, so clearly you know life is hard, but you don't want anybody telling you that you can get through it. Well, I mean, that just seems so, it's cynical, right? Like, it seems so immature, I guess is the word I'm looking for. But yeah, I was not ready for people's criticism. And again, I didn't have a full framework at that point. I didn't really understand that. What I needed to do in that moment is just separate fact from fiction. If you haven't seen me speak, you haven't read my writing, you don't have grounds to criticize me, even if you're a close friend. If simply me being a motivational speaker and your preconceived notions about what that is, if that's the only thing that you're going to use to criticize what I'm doing, then I don't need to give you any time, because you're not going through the due diligence to actually have an objective and fact-based criticism of what I'm doing that might help me better communicate my message. So we have to be careful. If you're going to be a content creator, or if you're going to share your ideas at work, whatever the case may be, you got to be ready for that left field criticism. And when I say ready, you just have to be strong enough to, again, separate facts from fiction. You got to understand your story. A lot of people say things that are really just their opinion, and they say them knee jerk, especially when an idea comes in front of them that they've already formulated opinions about. Like, again, I would tell people, oh, I'm doing motivational speaking. And they just already had in their head, this idea of this rose-colored glasses, pie in the sky person that just tells you, if you believe it, you can achieve it, right? Like, and I just kind of feel like, man, I'm so much deeper than that and so much more nuanced than that. And had they actually read my writing, heard me speak, they would know that, but they didn't. But I'm giving their criticism gravity because at the time, some of these people are close friends of mine. And I'm also giving their criticism gravity because, like I said, I'm somebody who grew up, and in my mind, I spent a lot of time trying to make sure my behavior didn't upset the people around me. And, when I first started speaking back between 2016, 2020, 2015, 2020, I hadn't been to therapy yet, hadn't written a book yet. So there was a lot that I hadn't processed about myself, and a lot of proclivities that I hadn't processed about myself. One of those proclivities was giving too much weight to criticism.